thing is not talked about as much, but it's kind of assumed. We bring awareness to these stories to help future victims from being victims. Hopefully they can see the red flags in these stories. And as soon as they see one come up in their face, they're like, you know what? Let me get the fuck away from this Mohawk guy. Just call them all Mohawks. Anyway, let me continue. Don't reconnect. But in this story, 2021, they reconnected. They reconnected in a residence in Malibu, California. And it was during a visit that Kat alleges Combs forced himself on her in a non-consensual sexual act. That sounds like rape. That sounds like possibly a politically correct way to say it, but yeah, Combs forced her to have sex. She describes this as waking up to a person she didn't even recognize. Some devilish demon looking motherfucker. She emphasized the fear and disorientation she felt during this encounter, during this alleged rape. Tough stuff. Following this incident, Kat claims that Combs threatened her. Stating that he could have her deported back to Canada faster than you can fucking say Canada. And I quote, told her, "You don't know who you fucking with." End quote. These threats left her feeling vulnerable. She says these threats left her feeling intimidated. Now, compound the trauma of the alleged assault, and you got hella trauma now. Because once you compound the trauma by making someone feel vulnerable, making somebody feel intimidated, and forcing yourself on her, you have changed her forever. You have changed her forever. Now, Kat's allegations are set to be featured in an upcoming docuseries titled The Fall of Diddy, scheduled to premiere on January 27th. Damn, they cranking these documentaries up. These Diddy-mentaries. We're going to call them Diddy-mentaries. And we will definitely be recapping that. We will definitely have another one of our The Flow Show No Filter live shows for our subscribers, like we did for the last Diddy documentary. I forgot the name of it. Oh, Making of a Bad Boy. We had a ball, as a matter of fact. And we will do it again for this documentary. It's called The Fall of Diddy. I know we've seen a million of them, but just like I pick and choose which ones I'll actually watch. Matter of fact, the only one I've watched is that one we've covered, because I knew it would have new information or more information, just like I believe this documentary will have more. The documentaries that they kind of rushed out, like the one with TMZ and all that, you know, that's not going to have much in it, but what we already know, they're not going to go into no detail. But the ones coming out now have a little bit more detail to them. So we will definitely be looking out for that show. Subscribers, you will receive the email. But it comes out January 27th. Now, this series aims, and I might have an exclusive. Matter of fact, I might have access to that before the 27th. I'll let you know. This series aims to shed light on the various accusations against Combs, providing a platform for survivors to share their stories. Now, it's important to note that these allegations emerge amidst a broader legal context. Sean Diddy Combs is currently facing multiple charges: racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, transportation to engage, all kind of shit. And if he's convicted, he's looking at 15 years to a life sentence, minimum 15 years. Now, as you know, this trial starts Cinco de Mayo, May 5th. Now, in response to Kat's allegations, representatives for Combs have dismissed them as fictional and publicity stunts. Their words, not mine. They assert that Combs has full confidence in the judicial process and that the truth will prevail in court. This stance is consistent with Combs' responses to all of them, so don't be surprised. Now, beyond Kat's claims, Combs is contending with a series of legal challenges. Now, the ex-girlfriend that we all know about is Cassie Ventura, who filed the lawsuit in November 2023 that kind of kicked off all of this. Now, we know the lawsuit was settled out of court shortly, but after that, hundreds more came with similar claims, leading to multiple lawsuits alleging misconduct, more importantly, sexual misconduct, spanning 4 decades. You see, the allegations brought against Sean Diddy Combs, the allegations brought forward by Kat, they contribute to a broader conversation. The one we like to talk about the power dynamic, the accountability, the treatment of women, and all of this. We're focusing on the entertainment industry. What the fuck going on within that industry? These narratives underscore the importance of listening to survivors, which we preach about on this show. Also, critically examining the structures that enable the abusive behavior, the record execs. Why does the law allow them to get away with this shit? Why does it seem like if you get the best legal team that money can buy, you can beat this shit? And victims are left holding the bag. So as we continue, we'll do what we always do, is to watch this shit. We're going to watch it closely because dominoes are starting to fall. And March is coming fast. And if you remember, March is when they're supposed to be naming the co-conspirators. Some celebrities could be named. More people that worked with Diddy could be named. Who knows? But speaking of dominoes falling, this $400 million lawsuit, which involved possibly J-Lo, was just, shall I say, dismissed. $400 million. Now, the money was one thing, but this was the one case that really named J-Lo and asked and called her to testify. Well, as far as this case goes, that won't be happening because this case has been dismissed. So this is another win for Diddy. But as I said in the intro, it also is a win for justice because if the lawsuit is frivolous or not true, not real, or any of those cases, if it falls in any of those categories, we got to get rid of it and get it the fuck out the way so we can focus on the real victims and the real cases. So before I break down this $400 million case that's dropped, I want to say thank you. Thank you to the subscriber of the day. Now, this subscriber comes from another one of the Patreon customers. So she's probably watching me right now on her phone. Probably, I don't know. But I just want to say thank you. Subscribe if you can, but this subscriber of the month is Megan Sampson. Everybody give it up for Megan Sampson. I hope you're enjoying all the extra content on the Patreon. I appreciate you for being a dedicated supporter, a dedicated fan of the show. Like I said, I appreciate every subscription dollar that comes in. It helps grow the channel, grow the show, and also just helps us and me and podcasters like me continue to tell the truth because we are dependent on corporate funding, corporate dollars, because that's the problem with the fucking politics. Because see, I could be on here telling you the truth, but if I'm a politician and Diddy's team says they're gonna offer me $50,000 to speak highly on Diddy, if I was a politician, I might take that $50,000. Now you get no more Diddy truth, just that easy. And $50,000 to Diddy or a corporation who is getting bad mouth is like a drop in the bucket. It's like 10 cents. It's like a penny. And that's happening. And I figured that out, which is why I work hard to produce a lot of subscription exclusive content to give my subscribers something to subscribe to so I can continue to stand on my own too and tell y'all the truth and keep pressure on the fucking power and the elites and everybody trying to keep the modern person down. We're going to keep pressure. So Megan, subscriber of the day, thank you for subscribing. I promise I will continue to give you consistent, great content. And to all of you out there, if you can subscribe, I got the Whitney Houston deep dive coming. I got the Who is Jaguar Wright coming. And I am waiting for an email back, but I will be listing the names that are going around that are about to be brought into this freak off mess, the celebrity names, the names that have been floating around like Ashton Kutcher and Leonardo DiCaprio and all of that. Well, my source is giving me what the real names is. And once I get that email, I will make a video about that for my subscribers. My Buzzsprout, Flow Show audio subscribers and my Patreon subscribers will get that info. Again, thank you, Megan. Thank you, Megan. Let me give you a real clap. You are the MVP. And anybody that can, please subscribe. We're going to keep it moving. The Flow Show, no filter. Thank y'all for making it a top 10% podcast on Apple and Spotify, according to downloads. I never saw that coming, but because of y'all, we kicking ass and taking names. So let's get into this $400 million lawsuit that just got dropped. So this is the deal. This was the guy who was in prison that actually filed this. So let's get into it. Now, in June 2024, Derek Smith, a prisoner who's currently serving time, filed a lawsuit. Now, he filed this lawsuit against Diddy, and listen to what the lawsuit alleged. The lawsuit alleged in June 2024, Derek Smith, a prisoner, and and what he's saying that is in 1997, while he was working as a bartender in Detroit, he met Combs at a local event. He claims that Combs invited him to a party at a Holiday Inn, and that's where he alleged the assault took place. Now, according to Cardello Smith, this incident has caused him enduring psychological trauma, leading him to seek $400 million in damages. These are for emotional distress and punitive damages. Oh, also compensation for the alleged assault. So all of that in his mind added up to $400 million. Now, it is important to note that these allegations pertain to events that supposedly occurred over 2 decades ago, raising questions about the availability and reliability of evidence, as well as the applicability of the statutes of limitations. Sean Combs has vehemently denied the allegations brought forward by Cardello, and his legal team says it's frivolous. They say it's ludicrous, asserting that there are no factual basis for the claims. They have highlighted Cardello's history as a serial pro-litigant. And what the hell is that? I'm going to tell you in the next sentence. This indicates that he has a pattern of filing lawsuits without legal representation, often without merit. In other words, he's been known to bullshit. In legal documents obtained by In Touch, Combs' attorneys emphasize that Cardello has a lengthy history of filing lawsuits, frivolous lawsuits, in this district and beyond. They also argue that this pattern undermines the credibility of not only him, but all of his allegations. And it suggests that the lawsuit is an attempt to exploit Combs because of his high-profile status for financial gain. Now, a significant point of contention in this case is Cardello's claim that a sexual assault kit was performed following the alleged incident in 1997. He asserts that this kit contains evidence supporting his allegations. However, Combs' legal team has challenged his claim, stating that there is no record of such a kit or no record or of such a kit even being administered, or any evidence to substantiate its existence. They also went on to argue that the absence of this critical piece of evidence further diminishes the credibility of Cardelo Smith's allegations. Now, this is a grown-ass man muddying the waters while we got victims, real victims out here. We got somebody behind bars just throwing up $400 million lawsuits with no evidence, no nothing. I don't like it. The dispute over the alleged sexual assault kit underscores the challenge inherited in litigating claims related to these incidents. This shit happened decades ago. You don't even have evidence. It happened decades ago. You don't even have evidence. We don't need these kind of lawsuits in the way. We need these out of the way so we can focus on the real shit that's going on or that has happened. Now, in a surprising development, Cardell Smith has indicated his intention to call Jennifer Lopez. Call her to testify. Now, Jennifer Lopez was in a relationship with Combs from 1999 to 2001. As a witness in the case, he suggests that Lopez may have relevant information regarding Combs' behavior and character during the time surrounding the alleged incident. However, it is important to note that Lopez's relationship with Combs began 2 years after the alleged assault that was supposed to take place in 1997. See, it get complicated when you lying. Combs' legal team has dismissed this move as a publicity stunt, arguing that Lopez would have no pertinent information related to the allegations. The inclusion of such high-profile figure adds a layer of complexity to the case. And that's why this case has garnered so much media attention. Now, this lawsuit is one amongst several that Diddy is fighting, but this one is poof. It's gone. So, from a legal standpoint, Cardelo's lawsuit presents several challenges. The significant time lapse between the alleged incident in 1997 and him filing it in 2024, that raises questions of statute of limitations. Also, while some jurisdictions have extended or eliminated statutes of limitations for certain sexual offenses, this applicability in this case would depend on the specific laws in place in Michigan. Because this is where the alleged assault was supposed to had occurred. Additionally, the lack of physical evidence poses a problem. And this case is totally relying on personal testimony, which does not add any validity. So with all this added up, this one getting dismissed. The reaction to this is mixed. Some people believe it. Most people don't. Most people agree with me and just want it out of the way. The media has covered it extensively. And when you dig into it, it's really not much there. He says he has a rape kit, but doesn't have it. He says he has literally no evidence, and this is supposed to take place maybe 30 fucking years ago. Like I said, shout out to all the victims. We are behind you, but we can't have these kind of cases, because these are the kind of cases that Diddy can use, and his legal team. He can use these cases and take real cases and say, see, this one is fake, just like that one was fake. And we don't need that, y'all. Balancing the rights of the accuser and the accused is hard enough. But you make it even harder when you bring bullshit like this. He could have kept this. He could have kept this. At any rate, it's been dismissed, tossed to the curb, thrown out with the rest of the trash, and we move on. Now, before we get the fuck out of here on this Friday and y'all get to enjoy y'all weekend, we got to talk about this Chris Brown $500 million lawsuits. These lawsuits are getting more and more expensive. Remember the days of like the $1 million lawsuit, and we thought that was crazy. It's like, oh, he's suing for $1 million. Holy shit. Now suing for $1 million, you won't even make the news. They suing for $500 million. They suing for $400 million. I seen a suit for $1 trillion. I just can't remember off the top of my head whose it was. So we're going to talk about this $500 million lawsuit going on and the documentary that you might want to check out. Chris Brown, one thing I can say, he's fighting the fuck out of it. True or not true, he believes it's not true, and he is fighting it. So, like, to understand the context of this lawsuit, we must revisit Chris Brown's legal history, which his legal history has been marred by several high-profile incidents over the past 15 years. The most notorious of these occurred in 2009 when Brown physically assaulted his then girlfriend, pop star Rihanna. Now, this incident led to felony assault charges, resulting in community labor, 5 years probation, and mandatory domestic violence counseling for Chris Brown. Y'all remember that, right? That's almost one of those things where you remember where you was when that came across your TV screen. We was watching TV back then. It didn't come across your phone. I remember seeing the picture of Rihanna looking all fucked up. Now, like I said, a lot of stuff came out after that. And so people are kind of divided on that whole situation. But let's talk about that day it hit and what you thought and what you remembered where you were, or when you heard about it, or when you seen those first pictures of Rihanna, because you got to remember, Rihanna was like a damn near at the top of her game, popular as hell. That would be the equivalent of, I don't know if I can compare her to Tim's, but if y'all love Tim's, that's like seeing Tim's right now face all beat up and fucked up, and let's say Bruno Mars did it. That's how shocking it was at that time. So following this brutal situation, Brown faced multiple legal challenges. These challenges included nightclub brawls, domestic violence claims, probation violations, and lawsuits alleging assault and battery. Notably, in 2024, 4 concert goers filed a $50 million lawsuit against Chris Brown and Live Nation. Now, if you don't remember that lawsuit, what happened was Brown and his entourage Brown and his entourage assaulted them backstage. He assaulted the allegedly concert goers. He assaulted them backstage after a show. Brown's representative did not respond to the request for comment at the time. They didn't want to say shit. That's their right, I guess. But despite these controversies, Brown has maintained a substantial following and continued success in his music career. However, his past actions have undeniably impacted his public image and have been the subject of extensive media coverage. And if you remember, Chris Brown was on his way to be the next Michael Jackson. Now, I would never in a million years think anybody is better than Michael Jackson. If you say Michael Jackson and Chris Brown, I'm a Michael Jackson guy. But I will admit, Chris Brown was on his way to be in that stratosphere. And once this Rihanna stuff happened, that shit was over. It ain't nothing he can do to get that status back. Now, in October 2024, Warner Brothers Discovery released a documentary titled Chris Brown, A History of Violence. This film dived into various allegations against Brown, including the 2009 assault on Rihanna and other incidences suggesting a pattern of violent behavior. Also, the documentary featured a Jane Doe who had previously sued Brown in 2020, alleging that he had drugged and assaulted her at a party on Sean Diddy Combs' yacht. Diddy's name comes up in every allegation these days, doesn't it? Now some shit happened with Chris Brown on Diddy's yacht. Remember, something happened with Diddy's son on Diddy's yacht. Diddy's yacht might need to be brought in for questioning at this point. I'm seeing a lot of crazy stories on this Diddy yacht. I wouldn't get on that yacht if I was a woman. But anyway, it's important to note that this case was dismissed without prejudice, meaning it could potentially be refiled in the future. Brown's legal team asserts that the documentary's producers were aware of the inaccuracies in these allegations, yet proceeded to publish them anyway, thereby violating basic journalistic principles. They went on to argue that the film portrays Brown as a serial rapist, a serial sexual abuser, labels that Chris Brown himself vehemently denies. So on January 21st, 2025, Chris Brown filed a $500 million defamation lawsuit against Warner Brothers, against Discovery, and the production company Ample Entertainment. He's suing all their asses. The lawsuit filed in Los Angeles Superior Court accuses the defendants of promoting and publishing false information in their pursuit of profit, despite knowing that the content was full of bullshit. Brown's attorney emphasized that this case is about protecting the truth and holding media entities accountable. The lawsuit also names the Jane Doe from the 2020 allegations as a defendant, describing her prior suit as frivolous. Now, in a statement, Brown's legal team asserted Mr. Brown has never been found guilty of any sex-related crime, and we want to co-sign that here on our show. He has not been found guilty of any sex-related crime, and so let me throw that out there. But this documentary states in every available fashion that he is a serial rapist and a sexual abuser. They argue that the documentary's producers intentionally promoted false and defamatory information, knowingly disregarding their ethical obligations as journalists. Now, in response to this lawsuit, a spokesperson for Investigation Discovery stated the following, and I quote, "We stand behind the production and will vigorously defend ourselves against this lawsuit," end quote. I don't know. What y'all think? Y'all think Chris Brown is owed money? Or do y'all think this is fair journalism and Chris Brown needs to kick rocks with flip-flops? Y'all let me know. But this stance indicates that Warner Brothers Discovery is prepared to contest Chris Brown's claims and uphold the integrity of their documentary. The company has not provided further details about their defense strategy, but has made it clear they ready for the smoke. Oh, they want the smoke. That's what they saying. So they asking Chris Brown to run it. No pun intended. I used to like that song "Run It" when it came out. Now, this lawsuit underscores the ongoing tension between public figures and media organizations, which is where we're at right now. We are at odds for real. These celebrities are mad that stuff that used to not get covered because they had control of the mainstream media, that shit is getting out here now, and they pissed about it. But if Brown's lawsuit is successful, it could have significant implications going forward on journalism, on covering this downward spiral of Hollywood. Like I said, I haven't investigated Chris Brown's situation, so I'm just stating what's being said. At this time, I don't really have an opinion because I haven't looked into it. I've only read this article breaking down this documentary. So I will watch the documentary. I'll probably give some more of my opinions on shit once I watch the actual documentary and watch it. When I say watch it, I mean watch it like I'm covering it, not watching it for education or entertainment purposes. And in the public, this has been mixed. A lot of people are on Chris Brown's side. Now I'm saying, yeah, a lot of people are on Chris Brown's side. And but a lot of people are like still believe that he's an abuser and a rapist and all of that. So we are going to see where this ends. As of right now, it's just a case that is ongoing. And we'll see what comes out of this shit. But I got a question for y'all before we get out of here. Do y'all want me to cover or do more or give you some more information on Luigi? You know, the young man who was accused of killing the CEO shooter. The CEO shooter, the CEO. He was claimed to be the shooter. He killed him, and he was the United Healthcare CEO, which they declined a record number of healthcare situations. I think 34% of healthcare clients were denied, and places like Kaiser, some of the other ones that are around like 7 to 10%. United Healthcare was at like 33, 34%. And people are mad as fuck. And Luigi Maggiano is being accused of killing him, but they're trying to bury him and bury his story because they are scared of jury nullification. If you don't know what jury nullification is when a juror or jury will acquit a defendant that they know that they may feel is guilty because whatever the fuck was done, they feel like he was justified or it wasn't right. And so to combat that, they have been suppressing his story because they saw he was getting a lot of attention. So I'm just asking y'all on this podcast. I don't know if you guys want to hear more. I know I posted about it on my social media account and it's going viral all over the place about where's Luigi and what happened. So I was like, well, let me ask my podcast people. If y'all want me to dive into that, please let me know. Either put it in the fan mail or DM me on Flow Daddy Flow, any of my social media accounts. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and of course TikTok. Let me know if you want me to deep dive some more into that Luigi Maggiano case. I will continue to bring awareness to it on my social media pages. And if y'all guys and gals want to hear about it, I'll bring it to the Flow Show No Filter. But anyway, y'all, it's Friday and I'm fucking off. The minute I bring in the theme music, I'm off, just like y'all. And I will see y'all Monday. Love y'all so much. I swear I got the best community online. And I'll take that to the bank. I don't care nobody say. Ain't nobody better than y'all. I love y'all. And as always, I'm out. Don't drink and drive. So that's how it go, y'all. And so again, on this episode, you see the audio is over with. This is all extra shit. So y'all missed the story. I'm gonna tell it now. I just started off. I just said how when you get old, see, I'm officially old now. So when you get old, you start to stretch and make noises for no reason. So, and you're around somebody. Sometimes if you're used to being by yourself, you don't really notice it. So it's like, you'd be like, and you'd be like, somebody will be like, you okay? You all right? And they get like real paranoid. And then you say, you think to yourself like, shit, wasn't nothing even really wrong. I'm just old. And sometimes you just gotta, So it's just part of getting old. And I did that at the beginning of the show. And then that made me think about my heel is hurting. My heel is hurting. And I didn't know why. Because, when you get old, you have shit just be hurting for no reason. So my heel was hurting. And then I had to think back in my fucking memory about maybe fucking 3-4 months ago. I hopped a 20-foot gate and landed all 230 pounds of me on my heel. I did a stop, drop, and roll, but that pain shot up from my heel to the top of my head, and it's still there. And I just realized what it was. So appreciate y'all on the Patreon, YouTube, wherever. I'm gonna get out of here. I done talked enough. Much love to y'all. Please subscribe. Enjoy your weekend. Don't drink and drive. I'm out.